Redistricting.
Yes.
What's going on in Texas? Republicans are pushing to redraw the state's map to try to bolster the House GOP majority, eliminating Democratic seats. I know you have been a long time opponent of gerrymandering with redistricting, but you also say the Democratic governors should, quote, fight fire with fire and
there are a couple
redraw.
of things here.
Yeah.
What is quite incredible, I mean, see, we are taking Trumpism kind of as normal. Trump is the one who came up with the idea. He says, let's see, Texas, I think we can get 5 more seats. Do it. Oh, yes, sir. You're the great leader. We will do it. And they're often trying to do it. So everybody knows what's going on. It is undemocratic. It is outrageous.
And yet you think Democratic governors should try to push back
I think it's sad.
Do the same thing?
I think they have no choice. I mean, what Trump is trying to do, he understands that there is a good chance that the Republicans will lose control over the House. I would hope the Senate as well. That'll be a tougher fight. So he's trying to make, in his authoritarian way, say, hey, I don't want to lose elections. Let's rig the system. Give me 5 more votes in Texas, to me, maybe some other states. So what should Democrats do? Sit back and say, oh, gee, Trump is doing this terrible. We can't do anything. Let them win the election when they shouldn't. So Democrats have got to fight back. I think it's pathetic, but I think that's what they've got to do.
Bernie Sanders, a historical opponent of gerrymandering, speaking out in favor of blue states actually fighting fire with fire in the gerrymandering fight, is 2 things. It is both a testament to just how egregious the corruption is on the Republican side, that even Bernie would change his stance, but also a testament to the fact that there is a sea change happening on the left. For all the virtues of the Democratic Party and the left more broadly, being a fighter has not historically been one of them. Democrats are often way too weak to respond to Republican abuses and quick to allow themselves to get fooled in hopes of ushering in some elusive goodwill that never seems to materialize. But now, for the first time that I can remember, Democrats are recognizing that the old way of doing things isn't going to suffice. Democrats are finally recognizing that Republicans are not partners in democracy, they are not trustworthy, and their rules are only valid insofar as they help Republicans. And if you don't believe me, ask yourself why Amy Coney Barrett is on the Supreme Court, but not Merrick Garland. And while it took far too long for the left to wake up, I'm at least grateful that it's happening now. For my part, recognizing that there's an opening here, I am doing everything in my power to get our Democratic governors on record saying that they'll do something and recognizing the urgency of this moment. Here's what those efforts look like thus far.
We can, in essence, likely neuter the total number of districts that Trump is looking to get with Abbott and rigging those maps here in the state of California. Hope other governors consider doing similar things. You've got to fight fire with fire. This is an existential moment. We have agency. We can act superior. We can act holier than thou and watch the last half century wiped out in real time. I think we need to be held to a higher level of accountability and meet this moment and lean in on this and get tough.
I've been on team fight since I first got elected in 2018. I really believe, we have to make choices right now about whether you're going to be on team fight or team cave. And the Republicans are using everything, whether it's cheating, breaking the law, trying to do things that I think are non-traditional. And we Democrats can't live by the old rules. We've got to live by the rules, but we've also got to react and fight. And so when I think about what they're trying to do in Texas, and by the way, they're also trying to do it next door to me here in Missouri, next door to Illinois, and other places, I think, historically that's, midstream redistricting was not something that we Democrats would do. But if they force us, we've got to put everything on the table. We've got to make decisions that maybe we wouldn't have made before. And so that's why I'm on the team here. I think that governors across the country that have the ability, maybe it's the ones where we've got trifectas, we've got to do everything we can to stand up to what Donald Trump and Greg Abbott are trying to do. I'm not going to countenance anymore the idea that we're going to sit around and watch them do it and complain from the sidelines when we have the ability to stop them.
I will use every power I have to push back against this blatant abuse of power. It has gone on too far, as you said. We have a strong advocacy group of good government people in our state. They want independent redistricting. They want all this. It is, it's an ideal world, But when we have our combatants, the other side, cheating, rigging the system, like, we can't sit on the sidelines. So I'm saying I will do what I can, partially looking at our Constitution, because unlike other states' Constitution, let me just say this. I think California does not have the same constraints that I have with my Constitution. Mine says I cannot do anything for 10 years. Now, knowing that, guess what I'm planning to do? Push the legislature to change our Constitution. It takes 2 cycles of Congress. We'd have to pass in 2026, again in 2027, go on the ballot in the fall of 2027. But the earliest we could see a change would be for 2028. But I'll tell you why that's better than the status quo. Otherwise, we can't do anything until 2032. So I'll take 4 years ahead of the time. I wish I could do more for 2026, but our hands are tied with how we have to use the process to amend the Constitution. But I'm sick and tired of this. I mean, they abuse us. We sit on the sidelines as a party, and I'm all about fighting back and fighting back hard and making them regret that they even tried to do this.
We are done with this mentality of being a place in a state or a party of no and slow, that we need to be a party of yes and now.
Yeah.
That you have to understand what is happening to our people right now. That there are over 250,000 people who are about to have their healthcare cut because of the speed that this administration is moving at. That we are about to have over $250 million in Maryland alone that's about to be cut from our rural hospitals because of the speed that the Trump administration is moving at.
Yeah.
My point is this, is that we do not have time to have multi-year analysis. We do not have time to have multi-year studies. We do not have time for this right now. We've got to start thinking about this and being a party of not no and slow, but yes and now. And especially when you're looking at the speed that this Trump administration is trying to dismantle a democratic system that's taking place within our states, about thinking about what does the representation of the House of Representatives and the Senate actually look like. And so again, I just think people should, examine the speed in how we are thinking about this in the state of Maryland.
For all those people to be coming out aggressively against these moves by Republicans and saying that they are willing to fight back is a step in the right direction, but it's not the last step. First of all, we need to convince other Democratic governors in blue trifecta states to do the same. The Republicans are already on board. They don't need convincing. It's going to happen in Texas and Missouri and Indiana and Florida, and that's just the beginning. So we need our governors and legislatures in Oregon and Washington and Colorado and New Jersey to do the same. And of course, that's in addition to the states that I just spoke with in California, Illinois, Maryland, and New York. In fact, here's Beto O'Rourke echoing that sentiment from our most recent interview. What's your message to those Democratic governors in those few positions that we actually have at our disposal to fight fire with fire, to use your exact words? And I'm not just talking about Newsom and Pritzker. We've got Hochul, Westmore. We've got Governor Ferguson in Washington, Kotek in Oregon, Jared Polis in Colorado. And so what's your message to all these folks where we can actually be aggressive here and counteract what Republicans are doing in these states across the country?
To these governors who have the power to do the right thing at the right moment, do not let this pass without a fight. And as long as we're fighting, let's seize the initiative. There's no use, if we're going to be in this fight, allowing them to land the first blow. We've got to seize the initiative, because if we fail in this, if we stop this steal, if we don't win control of the House of Representatives by any and all means necessary, then the consolidation of authoritarian power in the hands of Donald Trump after 26 will be nearly unstoppable. So more masked, plainclothes federal agents without warrants or badges sweeping the citizens of your state up off the street. It means that you and other political opponents of Donald Trump will be targeted for retribution, for vengeance, for persecution, and even for political violence. We have already seen it. And it means that a Republican-controlled Congress will more likely than not roll out the royal red carpet for a third Trump term. Now, Brian, you've commented on this, and you've led the fight on this, and you've opened people's eyes to everyone who's bending the knee to this would-be fascist king right now. The big tech companies, Tim Cook disgustingly giving Donald Trump a literally 24-karat gold-plated iPhone this week. The universities, Harvard may be considering a $500 million settlement, Columbia, the big law firms, the wealthiest, the most powerful people, those who are in a position to actually fight back and win have bent the knee. We have to show Donald Trump in America that our knees don't bend and that we're going to stand and fight every single day for as long as it takes until we win.
And by the way, Beto's organization, Powered by People, is doing amazing work registering new voters in Texas, which is the single hardest state to register to vote in the entire country. So if you'd like to support their invaluable work there, please follow the link in the post description of this video. But going back to the point here, we are seeing a sea change in the Democratic Party that represents an understanding of the fight that we're in. But I need to stress again, this isn't the time for tough talk and no action. To our elected officials on the left, we are both listening for the words, but we're also watching for your actions. If you're not willing to go to the mat to protect our democracy, then you shouldn't be in a position of power at this moment in our history. But if you are willing to fight, then get in the ring right now, because Republicans are not slowing down anytime soon, and the window to respond is closing. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.